Today's topic, check in with your coach. Hi, I'm Doug Holt, author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we call the 5 to Thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. So what do I mean by checking in with your coach? Well, you should be your own coach. Now, you may have another coach in many different areas. I do for myself. I have a coach who works on my personal development. I also have a trainer, and I also have other coaches that I work with intermittently. But I am my own coach, and I use these daily growth hacks very similarly, and I hope you do too. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're journaling, you're doing the work, you're doing a couple things. One is you're journaling at least once, hopefully twice, each and every day. And also each week, you're doing a review, right? You're going back and looking at the week prior and how you performed. But you're also looking and planning the week ahead. And you're doing this also quarterly in a bigger way. And then yearly, of course, is the big macro. And, here I am in a hotel room for the weekend because I'm a little bit sick and I'm trying just to get away and focus on, what do I want in my life and review what I've done before. And I'm flipping through one of my older journals and I have notes. And if you're watching the video, although the quality is poor, I have in my hands a huge journal. And this is when I used to use a really big one. And I have bookmarks all through it. And these bookmarks are thoughts and ideas that have come to me over time, right? So these are ideas that have come. And each time I read and review my journal, which I try to do several times a year, my old journals, these are things that always hold true. They're things that I want to keep myself on point with, and things that I also want to constantly remind myself about. Now, some of these are business ideas, right? If you're an entrepreneur, business ideas flow through you oftentimes, and I have a ton of them. I have a whole sheet of them. But a lot of these are insights. These are insights in my 5 to Thrive. Like, where do I want to be with my mind? Like mantras, things of that nature. What books do I want to read? Or thoughts when I'm having lunch with a mentor or someone who I just really respect. Oftentimes, I'll bring my journal with me, or right afterwards, I'll write things down in my journal that I'll get from them. Words of wisdom, so to speak. Or my body, like what do I want to do? What are things that I'm noticing about my body and ways that I adapt and move through the world? Foods that work for me and foods that don't. And then what about my soul? Like what comes up to me? I'm talking to someone who's got wisdom and some spiritual knowledge. I'm always looking for that. And for me personally, I'm looking through all the different religions and taking great information from all people. And then, of course, relationships. I got tons of information about relationships. Being a man who is married, so I'm a husband, also a father, I look for relationship advice from people that I look up to. And I have several people that are in my top 50 that are in those areas, or people that I look up to in those categories of relationships. And those can also be people that are just great at networking, and networking in my mind of networking. So not business card passing out, but networking with other people. And then, of course, with my business, I have tons of ideas, as I mentioned, but also I'm getting business thoughts because the people that I associate with tend to be entrepreneurs as well. And so I'm asking you, are you reviewing your coach? Because each day you're your own personal coach. Are you sitting down with that person in the past and seeing all those notes and that wisdom that he or she has given you over the last couple of years or months or even just weeks? And so it's really important to journal, but sit down and go through it, because journaling really is, not just a way of getting ideas out of your head to free yourself up or some whimsical self-development type strategy. Really, it's being your own coach. It's allowing you to coach yourselves and really allowing you to grow. And by utilizing your journal and reviewing it, you can see the notes that you've given to yourself and also the growth that you've had. Like I used to always talk about to people who were in the fitness field, and they'd be losing weight, for example, but they didn't see it, right? Because they saw themselves making micro changes. And with those micro changes, you just don't seem to notice what they are. And so what we want to do here is look at these from a macro level. So these same people wouldn't see these micro changes, but they'd run into a friend or somebody at the grocery store that hadn't seen them in months, and they would go, "Whoa, I can't believe how much weight you've lost." And their mind was blown because they just didn't see the changes. And so reviewing your notes or reviewing with your coach, which is you, in your journal, allows you to see those changes too. And if you're doing the 5 to Thrive and you've gone through the 7 days to become the author of your own story and done the 30-day game, you actually have a scorecard where you can see that. That's the idea of the scorecards. You can actually see if you're winning or losing. But your journal also helps you with a lot of those notes also. That's it for me today. As always, go to authorofyourownstory.com where you get the latest tips, tricks, and techniques to help you uplevel your game and become the author of your story. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.